Welcome to Traveling Texas Moms, where we teach you how to use the world of travel and an optimized life to help busy parents create the freedom to act like kids. I'm your host, Mallory Smith.
And I'm Kindall McMillan. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you haven't already subscribed, please like, subscribe, and follow us on any platform at Traveling Texas Moms.
We always appreciate our growing community, and we're grateful for this time with you. Let's roll in today's show. All right, guys, so this is another episode filled with stories from Florida. At the end of May, Kindall took her parents, her husband, and 4 kids, ranging from ages 1 to 8, to all of the Disney World parks and Universal. Not only was this a feat in itself, but they did it in just a 5-day trip. What a whirlwind. So Kindall, what are your takeaways? Just give us a couple bullet points before we get into all the dirty details.
Okay, so my top, I guess I should say rookie mistake, even though we're not rookies. I mean, even the most seasoned Disney fan can make a mistake like this. But I have not measured my kids, their heights in a while. And so I didn't have it off the top of my head, nor did I take the time to kind of look up the height requirements for the bigger rides that we wanted to ride. So that was a mistake on my part. I was too worried about I was too worried about like trying to plan the whole day. I didn't think about the little details.
Okay.
And so the second one is, I don't know if the dining package is just like a one size fits all, get it no matter what kind of thing. I don't know if that applies to everyone. For us, we might skip the dining plan.
Okay. So we'll unpack why that is here in a little bit.
There's a couple of reasons why. And then the last one is something that we also ran into a lot in the chaos of the day, was not having everything planned to where you want to be even halfway through the day, of like, where do you see yourself eating lunch? That kind of threw the plans out the window a little bit.
Okay, so having maybe a structured schedule of we need to hit this, and this by noon.
Yeah. So the old fast pass system, I keep seeing this in like a lot of heated debates on the Disney fan groups, is like the old fast pass system showed you all of the available slots that you could select the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see what was available before you like booked it. And with the new Genie Plus Lightning Lane, you kind of just take whatever's available.
You get what you get because you don't know if another offer's coming after that.
Right. Yeah, because they could sell out. I mean, I guess the old Fast Pass system could sell out too, but I feel like the old Fast Pass system allowed you to plan your day way more scheduled time and like exactly where you want to be at what part of that specific park.
Yeah.
Versus the Lightning Lane is like, well, I have Guardians of the Galaxy over on this side of Epcot, but then in 15 minutes after that, we've got to be over here at this part. And
that's what I've noticed. Like it definitely gets your steps in, but yeah, it's one of the most inefficient walking systems that you could do. Even if you're like fantastic at booking your Genie Plus attractions, you're never going to be able to stay on one side of the park all in the same order.
Yes. I saw a great graph or chart someone had made where it had Magic Kingdom laid out, perfectly on the map, and then it showed them with the Fast Pass system, they like go around a nice little circle and go through all the lands. But then with the new Genie Plus, it's like zigzag everywhere.
It's like a game of Pong.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And so that kind of rolls into one of the issues we had with my younger two, is they didn't want to get in the stroller.
So younger two being ages 1 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they refused the stroller, huh?
Yeah.
So what was their other option?
Excuse me. Um, the other option was to walk at a
Uh-huh.
toddler's pace in
With
the
the
Disney
stride
World
about this long?
crowd. Right. Or I carried them.
Oh man.
Carried both of them at one point. A couple of times actually.
Ah, yeah. How'd that were there any regrets on their part after all of that walking?
No, they had no regrets.
Are you sure? I think Abby might have had a regret.
Oh, um,
So okay, so we talked a little bit this weekend. We cheated. We cheated on the show because we just couldn't wait to talk about all of this. But joke's on
yeah,
us because the kids demanded our attention every 5 minutes because we didn't get a complete interaction. But I do know this one thing.
yeah. Yeah, my youngest, my 1-year-old, she'll be 2 in September. So she's way more on like the 2-year-old side versus the 1-year-old side. But she got the dreaded Disney rash, and she's a fair-skinned, blonde, blue-eyed baby.
Where did she get that from?
I don't know, it's a mystery.
Yeah, so we've got Florida humidity and a diaper and a little kid's not used to walking this much. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So in the like crooks of her, like the creases of her arms and her diaper area and the backs of her knees, that got the dreaded Disney rash,
You
where
know,
it looks like a
I feel like
severe case of eczema.
right, like so I feel like there's a tip in here somewhere. So like is there a way you could have and not to say you did anything wrong, like, you did everything you were supposed to do or could do. But like, how do you keep a child in the stroller? Do you like give them toys? Do you bribe them? Like,
Yeah,
or
we
maybe
tried a lot of different things, and I with the heat, as like we tried to go in May to where it wouldn't hit summer temperatures that we were kind of expecting for Florida. And then we wanted to go early enough also so that like maybe there wouldn't be as many people. I don't know, like right when the kids got out of school, we
right,
left the next day. And the crowds were still pretty bad, but it wasn't like I don't know if we ever made the remark like, geez, there's a lot of people. Like we just kind of expected it.
right,
So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like going at Christmas time where you can't do anything. I mean, there were still plenty of fast pass or lightning lane stuff that we were able to buy later in the day.
hmm,
Because I know at at busier times those sell out pretty quick, and then
yeah.
you're kind of just stuck. But the heat was,
Was probably the biggest reason she didn't want to stay in the stroller.
yeah, yeah, which
You know,
I don't want to. I can't fault her for that because
yeah,
I mean, she can't verbally tell you, "Hey, I'm hot." She's gonna cry, and
yeah.
so
You know, I'd be interested to hear from our listeners to see if they've got any ideas or trips
oh,
that had worked for them.
absolutely.
Because you
I
can't
did
be the
see,
only one that this has happened to.
yeah, I we have the little portable fans
Hmm.
blowing on them, and I did see a lot of those like neck fans
Yeah.
people had that, and then we had like the spray fans with the water too. So we tried our best, but
Also,
yeah,
you can't
maybe she
reason
just,
with a toddler.
yeah. Yeah, she just wanted to maybe people watch and just take it all in, and maybe with her obstructed stroller view, heaven forbid, she couldn't
Yeah.
see everything she wanted to. But yeah, at certain times when we needed her to be in the stroller, like if we were leaving the parks or we only had a certain amount of time to get to across the park for our lightning lane.
Yeah.
We'd strap her in there, tighten those straps, and we're like, let's go.
Just go with
Freeze his
it.
head off. Yeah, so we
So,
got a lot of looks on
yeah, well, I mean,
whatever.
no one's perfect. You did the best you could, and gosh,
Yeah.
4 kids at once is just that's a lot for anybody.
It is, but I will say for someone who maybe is on the fence about adding a third or fourth kid to the group, is that like once you get to a certain point, the older ones start becoming way more self-sufficient. So it's not like, you're obviously having multiples is a whole different ball game, but
Yeah, well,
like my 8-year-old is like a little mini mama. And so if you ask her to help with something, ask her to do something, she'll do it with a smile on her face.
which is
So
why she's gonna be our little travel buddy that helps with McKenna at a future trip because I've already claimed her as like ours because she's so awesome.
I'm a little offended you didn't ask me, but whatever.
Do you want to be my little travel buddy?
I mean, since you asked.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about checking heights before you go. So what there's a story behind this.
Okay, so when you book your Lightning Lane passes in the morning at 7 a.m. the day of, you purchase your Genie Plus, and then you're able to book certain attractions. You pay an additional, you know, let's just say $16, whatever
Right.
it could be
At the
between.
most typically. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're in the Disney app and you get you choose Guardians of the Galaxy because that was the best roller coaster ever. I'm gonna
Told
keep
you.
talking about it. You can select who all in your party you want to purchase that $16 ticket for.
Mhm.
Well, I wasn't sure about how tall my son was, so at 7 a.m., all the kids are still asleep, and I'm not going to like, I have no way of measuring him. So I just had to guess, and I was like, yeah, I guess he's tall enough to ride it. So I bought him a pass. Luckily, he was tall enough to ride it. But going into the for future trips, I really need to remember that I need to know how tall my kids are, and then I need to look up those rides that we want to go on because he
Well,
wasn't tall enough to ride Tron,
right.
which is another because I guess Tron has a higher, it was like 48, and
Well, it's a different type of seat. It makes
yeah, that's
sense.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was only short by like an inch, maybe,
It's definitely not something
less
you
than
want
an
to try
inch.
and fudge or
Right.
squeeze.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to try to sneak him
But
or
that
whatever,
ended
but
up working out pretty well for you, didn't it?
it did. Yes. So at the end of our Magic Kingdom day, when we had waited all day, we were on the virtual queue for Tron. And so all day we're keeping track of it, watching it, and my parents had taken the two youngest back to the hotel. So it allowed me and my husband and our two oldest, the 8 and the 6-year-old, to kind of ride some other stuff that we didn't get to throughout the day and just a break from the
Bit
stroller fight.
of a breather.
Yeah. So we rode Space Mountain, which was so much fun as with the bigger kids, and they just I think they actually said that was their favorite roller coaster for the trip, which I was kind of
Solid
surprised.
choice.
I love Space Mountain, but I'm like all about Guardians now. That was such a good roller coaster. Anyways, so we're watching our queue, and so we get the boarding for it. So we go up to it, and it's like 8 o'clock, and I think the park was closing at 9. And we get up to the line, and he's too short by like less than an inch. And so we're like, okay, well, we could have done rider swap, but then we're thinking like, we don't want to leave him out. Like, I don't know. He's been with us all day. He's been such a trooper.
Yeah.
And so we just said we'll save it for next time. And we were standing in the Tron area, which is a beautiful building with this cool walkway that curves in a circular pattern. And like, it was right at the, is it 8:30 fireworks or 9 o'clock
I think
fireworks?
it's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, one of those, yeah. The fireworks start going off when we're right there. There's not many people. The people that are there are the ones standing in line, but there's hardly anyone standing around like the entrance to Tron. And that ended up being one of the coolest places to watch the fireworks. Like, I know people love going on Main Street, but you are packed in like cattle on that road, and everybody's holding up their phones trying to get the best view or whatever. But being over there in the Tron area, that's like a new hidden secret, I
Not
guess.
anymore.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
I
yeah,
mean,
you get the music that's playing throughout the whole park. You still get it over there.
that's
Um,
awesome.
it was really cool. So yeah,
Do
we
you,
might try.
okay, I had a thought. Did I ask you on Saturday which song you got for Guardians? Do you
Uh,
remember?
no, I don't remember. But
No.
if it was like multiple choice where I like go through and listen to each song, I could maybe
I think there's
pick
like
it out.
10 that they circled through, 8 or 10. Uh, my favorite, so like I went, my first time I wrote it was like around Christmas time, I think. And of course it was Run Run Rudolph. And so it made sense.
Yeah.
And then my second time, don't, I think it was like September, maybe Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hmm.
I think. And then, but my favorite, the one that stuck with me, was Conga. It's just like so like upbeat and fun, like like it just made it like you can't like not listen to that song and like you can't
Yeah.
listen to that song and not smile. Like
Right. Yeah.
so, but that's a big thing is people try to like listen to every song on
Yeah.
that roller coaster.
That's interesting. I didn't know there were that many songs that they loop through.
Well, and and obviously like Guardians has one of the best soundtracks for a
Right.
Marvel show. Like the music is iconic.
Yeah.
So of course the music on the ride had to be iconic too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I noticed in the pre-ride um show, I
Hmm.
guess getting ready to board. That's what I love about how Disney does it. Getting all the original actors back
Yes.
and to, be themselves and as if, it's not really a movie. Like you're really in this other reality where there are these characters and they're still playing their parts and
And let's face it, like Close on a big screen in front of the ride, like she is flawless. Like you
yeah.
want to talk about someone who's aged really well and just as iconic to the movie industry.
Yeah.
I think she's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool to see all those characters again. I don't think I've actually seen, isn't there a Guardians 3 movie? I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's the one that's all about like Rocket's backstory.
Mm, and
And
he's
so
the
that's a
raccoon, right?
yes, yeah, the raccoon. So that's the final, supposedly. They always
Mm,
say final. Sometimes things spin off or like pick back up,
yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's talk about takeaway number two. So tell me about the dining package because it's not something I've ever, well, you know what? I take that back. I think I did have a dining package when I went when I was 19.
Hmm.
But I didn't understand it then. So like
Yeah.
for the
I'm
people
not
who
sure I
haven't
even understand it still to this day.
what is your best guess at what the purpose of this dining package was?
To make you sit and eat and get fat. That is the point of the dining
to
package.
to gain back all those calories that you did the 8,000 or 10,000 plus steps for the day.
Yeah, our Magic Kingdom day, which was our longest day, I was 16,000 steps.
Whew, gosh, dang. So so okay, so is it three full meals?
No, so at least the one we got was one sit down
Mm,
meal per day,
okay.
one quick service meal, plus two snacks
Okay.
that
Okay.
are
So
allocated to you that you can use at any time. You can use all, 10 meals in one day if you wanted.
oh.
But so each person gets 10 snacks on their account because it goes by how many days you're in the parks. Um, or I'm sorry, how many days you're at the hotel, I think.
Oh, okay. So it matches up with your hotel reservation.
I
So
think.
you could do a mixture of like a sit down breakfast, a quick service lunch,
Mhm.
and then you'd be on your own for dinner
Right.
or, any combination.
Right.
So you pretty much
So,
have to have this planned out when you're making your reservations for everything.
right. Yeah, you make your dinner reservation or your whatever your sit down reservation is,
Hmm.
when you're 60 days out and you can
Yeah.
start cooking them. But so what we like to do is we like to do a big breakfast in the morning. We like to do character breakfast so that we're guaranteed to meet some characters. The kids love it.
Yeah.
Um, you fill up, you get a bunch of protein with your eggs and bacon and sausage and all that stuff. And then you can go maybe until 2 o'clock until you're ready to eat lunch. That's kind of what we're thinking, but like it allows us to get, you know, kind of the Americanized food that everybody's gonna like, comfort food, breakfast.
Sure.
And then you're ready to go for the day. You're filled up versus somebody in the group who might just want like a piece of toast. Well, they're gonna be hungry by 11 o'clock or something. Then you're gonna have to stop and eat and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's just what we like to do. However, with the sit down meals, each adult and maybe even a kid, I need to check that too, but I know at least with the adults, you get a dessert every
Ah,
time, every sit down meal per adult, and you get one adult beverage that's included in the meal.
that's
And so
nice.
for it is, except when you're with people that don't want to eat dessert every day or like don't want to eat a mousse uh cake or some, extravagant chocolate thing that that's just a lot of calories, it's a lot of sugar. Then you're
You've
just like
been
tired.
walking all day. Eat the
But
dessert.
this is the morning. It's the morning shift of
Oh, okay.
meals.
I could see not wanting dessert right after
Yeah.
breakfast.
You
I
don't want
mean,
to
even I
look
have my
down.
limits.
Yeah. If you're gonna get dessert, it's because you're about to walk back to your hotel room, you get it to go, you eat it while you watch TV
Yeah.
and go to bed. But yeah, so it didn't really work out for us on paper as we were hoping. My 1-year-old also doesn't like to be confined to a high chair at
Hmm,
all. She's
fair.
like Houdini, gets out of every um buckle harness strap known to mankind.
I don't know.
Um,
If I had had breakfast at Ohana, I still would have gotten the bread pudding. I don't care if it's 9 a.m. Like you don't skip on the Ohana bread pudding.
yeah. That's why the next time we go, it's gonna be an adults only trip.
The next time we go will be a girls only,
Yes.
adults only at the Polynesian. I've already got this figured out.
All
We
right.
just we just have to figure out timing and budget.
Yeah.
the,
You just send
the
me
the
all the
minor
details.
details. Oh man. But
Yeah.
and I apologize for yawning so much. It's been a long 2 weeks and I leave for one of my big trips tomorrow. So I tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. It makes for lots of giggles though, and hopefully a more entertaining podcast. Okay, so favorite part of the trip. What was the highlight?
Oh my gosh.
Just one.
Okay, so this is I know maybe you're gonna say it's lame, but okay, well, first of all, I'm gonna say my favorite new roller coaster. It used to be what is it called? Mount Everest. What is it called?
Expedition Everest.
Expedition. I can never remember that name. Expedition Everest. I love that roller coaster. I love the build up to it. I love walking through the queue and kind of thinking like maybe there really is a Yeti. Like I kind of believe it. I don't know. There's
Could
just like a
be.
lot of stuff
I
there
think
that
there's a Bigfoot.
oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
Yeti's
you never
Yeti's
know.
just like the snow version of that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, it used to be Expedition Everest, but now it's definitely Guardians. That ride was insanely fun. Oh my gosh. What a
Yeah.
unexpected just oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my favorite new coaster, but I will say my favorite new attraction that was brand new to us, we hadn't gone through it yet, was the new Moana Journey of
Oh,
Water thing.
wasn't that cool?
That was so adorable and so much fun. All 4 kids loved it. They walked through it because you couldn't bring a stroller,
Uh-huh.
and having, like, total strangers all work together to, like, make the water do stuff, and they got to touch things, and you got to see all the different forms of
And the
water.
calming music while you're doing all
Mhm.
of it, just like the peaceful Hawaiian, like,
Yeah,
sounds.
it was so much I really enjoyed that. It was so oh, we got such great videos.
Well,
It
and who doesn't love a water attraction in Florida in the middle of summer?
Yeah, it was like 98 degrees, 100% humidity. We're like, "Yeah, we'll walk
Bring
through."
on the splashing.
Yeah, we'll walk through the wet side, not the
Yeah.
dry side. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. The Imagineers did a great job with that attraction.
I agree.
Um, Props to them for that. That was really
Yeah, we
fun.
actually have a video of it on our Instagram, on the Traveling Texas Moms Instagram from when I went. I guess that would have been last October.
Mhm.
So if you want to take a quick peek at one of the parts of the attraction,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
so cool. I'm glad y'all had lots of fun memories and a good time, and y'all seems like you survived, all of you.
Yeah, yeah, right outside of the, Soarin', Living with the Land
Hmm.
pavilion. There's, those large, I guess, oak trees with the tree wells around them.
Uh-huh.
That's usually where doesn't matter what trip we're on, we always seem to end up just kinda standing under those trees, like, just enjoying the shade.
Sure.
And, my 3-year-old and my 6-year-old decided it would be a good time to chase each other around those, and, of course, the 3-year-old fell, skinned her knee really bad, and, like, blood
Ooh.
was just coming out, and we were all kinda like, not really
What do
sure
you
what to
do?
do." Luckily, this super nice lady who happened to be a school nurse saw the whole thing, and she came over, she had, like, a whole fanny pack of, like, first aid stuff, like, "Of course, you're my, like, saving grace, my little
That's
angel."
your pixie dust right there.
Yes, and she had Band-Aids and gauze and antiseptic wipes or whatever, and
Wow.
we just it was amazing, and we were like, "Thank you so much," because I don't even know where a first aid stand would be. I guess I'd have to get on the map and kinda search for one,
Yeah.
but, yeah, we were just, like, kind of pouring water on her leg, and
Man. Everybody needs one of those people in their lives.
yeah, that might be a good tip, is to bring maybe, like, a little tiny travel first
First
aid.
aid kit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
with
I like
toddlers
that.
who like to fall over their own feet and skin their knees or hands. Yeah, bring the Band-Aids
Bring the
because,
Band-Aids and maybe
yeah, I
some
didn't think we'd need
antiseptic.
'em. Yeah,
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 and
so
which, I mean, can never hurt. There's no shortage of germs at
yeah,
the parks.
yeah, we had plenty of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, which that would hurt like crap on
Yeah,
a fresh cut. But there's one
yeah.
thing I wanted to go over before we run out of time. So I've had a lot of conversations with some of my friends lately who are considering a Disney vacation, and they don't know how to pick a resort. And like to their defense, like there are so many cool ones, but I wanted to have a quick conversation of like kind of some of the positives, like some of the ups and downs of certain resorts. So
Mhm,
I was talking to one lady that's got a large group, and so I think she said 6 adults, 5 kids, varying ranges of age, and so I made a couple suggestions. I said, I personally Yacht Club is one of my favorite because it's a really nice and kind of
mhm,
upscale, centrally located. You can walk between Epcot and Hollywood,
mhm.
and they've got a great pool area and lots of waterfront activities to the lagoon. But
Yeah.
and then we also looked at Contemporary for the same reason, just monorail side, and it's close to Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So I was like, hey, for
Mhm.
ease of transportation, like these are where I would go.
Yeah.
And with what was available at the time. And she comes back to me and she's like, hey, we kind of were thinking that, Animal Kingdom Lodge would be a cool place. And I was like, it is. if you really like animals and you want that to be the focus of your trip and you've got like a Savannah view room, that would be great.
Yep.
But you can only get there by bus and you have to pack the strollers up every single time you get on that bus. I was like, so if
Yes.
you would like convenience, go here. If you really want that animal experience, go there. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we like convenience.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's definitely something that we ran into. That would have been bullet point number 4 of tips. Again, another rookie mistake of mine. Even though I'm not a rookie, I wanted to like, oh, well, we haven't stayed at Wilderness Lodge before. Let's stay there because it's new or it's new to us. We want to do something different because we usually stay at the Contemporary. That's our go-to place. And yeah, for buses, you have to collapse the strollers. They do not let you put the
Just wheel
stroller.
them on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do that. So at the end of the night, when we get the kids out of the stroller that we just fought for 30 minutes to get in the stroller and walk across the park, we now have to get them out, hold them on our lap, and you collapse the stroller and like everything that you've bought for the day just goes everywhere. Your bubble machines,
Mm-hmm.
your toys and all the stuff that you bought, everything that's been in the pouches, your water bottles, everything goes everywhere in the bus. So, um even my dad turned to me and was like, "Never stay off the monorail ever again."
Well, it's not, it doesn't have to just be the monorail. So like to that point, the October trip that I did this last October, I stayed at the Caribbean Beach Resort, which I mean it's not, it's just, it's one of the moderate priced resorts. So it's nice, it's not over the top nice. They've got a great pool, but it's close to the Skyliner. And so
Mhm.
so I found that getting between Epcot and Hollywood on the Skyliner was also very easy and enjoyable, and so I would say, monorail or Skyliner is
Yes.
probably more of a necessity.
Yeah.
And then
Tell
if
your
you
youngest kid is like 6 because if they're younger and they need the stroller to make it throughout the day, don't stay anywhere where you have to take a
if you can
long
help
bus
it,
ride.
if
If
you
you
can
can,
help it.
yeah.
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 But I mean,
And
obviously, like all of the resorts have their own perks and their own themes
right.
and fit everything. There's something to fit every budget to for the most part. But yeah, those are all things to consider. So if y'all want to have a conversation with us about, what we would suggest for each individual type of trip, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to have that conversation with you. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. We're almost out of time for the day. So thanks for joining us. Reach out and let us know how you're utilizing this show in your life. And don't forget to subscribe and so you never miss an episode.